Very good morning to all my dear students. This is Surpreet Kaur. Today we will have the discussion of exercises of chapter number 1, the Indian Constitution. Starting with glossary. First one is arbitrary. Arbitrary means होता है मनमानी करना. So when nothing is fixed and is instead left to one's judgment or choice. Means when rules are not fixed and the decisions are taken on one's own judgment or choice, then it is called arbitrary. Next one is ideal. Ideal means a goal or principle in its most excellent or perfect form. Means when one goal or principle is in its perfect form, then we call it an ideal goal. Next, Indian National Movement. Indian National Movement, you all know that it emerged in 19th century and it was against the Britishers' rule, and it resulted in India's independence in 1947. Next comes polity. Polity tells about the society, a society that has an organized political structure. If we talk about India, India is a democratic polity, means it has a democratic structure. Next is sovereign. In the context of this chapter, it refers to the independent people. If you remember, then it is written in the Constitution of India that India is a sovereign country. India is a sovereign country because it is independent now and people have supreme power to make decisions. It also means that no external authority can interfere in the decision of the government. Next comes human trafficking. Trafficking means the practice of illegal buying and selling of different commodities across national borders. And if we talk about human trafficking, it means selling and purchasing of human beings, particularly women and children, which is obviously an illegal work. Tyranny, the cruel and unjust use of power or authority. Hindi meaning is अन्याय या जुल्म करना. So it is unjust and cruel use of power or authority. Next comes question answer. Question number 1. Why does a democratic country need a constitution? If we talk about constitution, you all know that constitution is an important document containing a body of principles or rules according to which a state or organization is governed. It is actually a written law of the land. Our democratic country needs a constitution because of the following reason. First is, it defines and determines the form of government, whether it will be a monarchy or democracy or a dictatorship. It gives valuable information about the composition of the government regarding its structure, organs, duties and responsibilities. Means government, how the government structure will be, how many organs will it have, what are the duties and responsibilities of the government towards its citizens. Next, it has a system of check and balances which prevent the misuse of power vested in the government. As you all know that all the organs of our government keep a check on the others' work. So it keeps a check and balance. It is also known as check and balance, and it prevents the misuse of power. It guarantees several fundamental rights to the citizens in order to protect them from any injustice faced by them. You all know that several fundamental rights are given to us under our constitution that protect us from injustice. It protects the right of the minorities from the suppression faced by the majority. Many conditions may come in which minorities may feel suppressed, so it helps them. It protects their rights against that suppression from majority. Question number 2. What is the difference in who exercises executive power in the two constitutions of Nepal? Why do you think Nepal needs a constitution today? The difference in who exercises executive power in the two constitutions, that is Constitution of 1919 and 2007 of Nepal, are given below. First, in 1990, Nepal had a monarchy, while in 2007 it changed to a democratic country after a lot of struggle. In 1990 Constitution, the supreme power was held by the king and his authority, while in 2007 the interim constitution, it is in the hand of people. Yes, we think that Nepal needs a new constitution today because it has become a democratic country now, and hence executive power needs to be in the hand of Council of Ministers who will be elected by the people of Nepal. In addition, the previous constitution did not reflect the ideals of the country or what the people of that country believes in. Now the question arises, what if there would now next question is, what if there would have been no restriction on the power of elected representatives? If uh, answer is this, if there would have been no restriction on the power of elected representatives, the power would have been misused by them for their needs. So this would have resulted in gross injustice against the people of country, and as the constitution safeguards the interests of the people against the misuse of authority, it segregated powers under three organs: legislature, executive, and the judiciary. In this manner, each of our organs keep a check on the other organ and their power, and this helps them to maintain a healthy balance of power between themselves, and thus it prevent uh, misuse of the powers by each of the organ. Next come, why do you think it is necessary to respect the views of minority in each of the given situations? The answers I have written directly. Question is, if in a school with 30 teachers, 20 of them are male, it means answer is 10 female teachers fall under minority category. So it is important to respect the views of these minority teachers so that they do not feel left out or underpowered by the majority. Next comes in the city, 5% of the population are Buddhist. It means that they came under minority category. Again, it is important to respect the views of this minority so that they are not dominated by the majority religion to change their religion, as every individual has the right to follow the religion of his own choice. Next comes in a factory mess for all employees. 80% of the employees are vegetarian. It means 20% of the non-vegetarians fall under the minority category. It is important to respect the views of minority because non-vegetarian food is an integral part of our diet, and it should not happen that factory does not provide them with that. In addition, consuming non-vegetarian food is a personal choice. Next, in a class of 50 students, 40 belong to well-off families. It means 10 students uh, of not well-off families fall under the minority category. It is important to respect the views of this minority so that there is no kind of distinction or discrimination with respect to the income earned by their families. The well-off kids should be taught not to tease or harass the poor kids. Last question. Write the importance of the given key features of the Constitution. First is federalism. It refers to the existence of more than one level of government in the country. That is, the power is divided among a central authority and its various constituent units. It has a dual objective, that means to safeguard and promote the unity of the country, and while at the same time to accommodate religion diversity. Next is separation of power. It is a constitutional principle which limits the power vested in any one person or organization, and also so that power is not misused by any one branch of the government. The Constitution divided the power among the three organs of the government: legislature, executive, and the judiciary. Next come fundamental rights. We have to write 2 points regarding fundamental rights also. First one is, fundamental rights constitute the backbone of the nation, and they are very essential to safeguard the interest of the people. It acts as a guarantee that all Indian citizens can and will live their lives in peace as long as they live according to the Indian democracy. Next is parliamentary form of government. It guarantees universal electoral franchise. That is, the people of India have direct role in electing their representatives either for the state or for the country. And any person, irrespective of his class, status, creed, sex, or income, can contest in elections and is accountable to the people who have elected him. This is it for the chapter. Thank you and have a nice day.